Taxman here with episode 2 of my Strategic Command War in Europe Total Realism Project by Lothos game with Old Crow Balthazor. We're on turn 2, which is episode 2, and let's get started. Okay. See what he's done with Poland today. All right, let's start this time with, we'll start with Poland here. All right, I missed this up a little bit, and he should have moved out last turn. So that was a mistake on my part. We'll repair that guy. Can he do any? No, not worth the damage. He's screwed. Yeah, nice, slow and steady pace with Poland. Good job, OCB. There's no real reason to rush Poland, and getting it an extra turn sooner is not really that big of a deal in this mod. Can you take a pot shot? No. I was hoping to put infantry weapons on this guy, but it looks like I'm not going to get a chance to. That's okay. That's okay. Good job. Nice, slow, steady, very little damage by Germany. All right, let's start with the rest of the world here. Look at the Russians. The Russians don't have any money to do anything. Oh, I forgot to do diplomacy. So we got Saudi Arabia on the first turn, which was pretty nice. So we're going to go all in instead of, we'll have France. Instead of doing 10% each in Colombia and Saudi Arabia, I'm going to go all in on the Saudis. The sooner I get it to 20%, the sooner I start getting money. So concentrate on the one I got to hit on. Okay, now let's look at England. 7 turns. Anything else I could buy would take 6. All right, headquarters would be March. All right, so I'm going to save my money for England instead of buying a tech, because my little surprise is I want to get an armored division into France as part of the BEF. So let's move the French around. I'm going to buy headquarters for the French. So there's our first one. I'm going to get 3. I'm going to buy 3 of them because their headquarters in TRP are cheap and they're force multipliers, and they will make France stronger more so than anything else you can get. I'll start repairing that guy. Point. And all right, where are the guys I'm rolling? Here? No. This one. I can use him to cover a port as well, but in order to cover, like down here, he's going to have to rail, and I don't have a need to do that just yet. This guy's going to cover this port when these guys leave. I don't need to cover these other. I mean, technically I probably should, but I'm not worried about it. Oh yeah. Eventually there may be some spare points to throw into the French Navy near when France is about ready to go under. The reason to do that is just in case the Axis decide to go all France, and that way you'd have the Navy repaired with French MPP instead of English MPP. Okay, as I said before here, what I want to do is I want to lead with the destroyers and follow with the carriers. All right. And since we're short on destroyers for the time, oh, that's got to get repaired. I forgot about him. Since we're short on destroyers at the time, we will keep our carriers back for now. And I haven't decided if I want to keep him here in Egypt or move him over here with to this side and with the regular fleet. There's arguments for both. All right, we'll do a point there. And that's pretty much going to be it, I believe. Oh, they have... Hello, Mr. Sub. Of course. Surprise, and I eat twice as much damage as he does. I will, I'll go over my longer term purchase strategies when I have, when the money starts really rolling in. But in general with England, I'm not going to buy 10 destroyers because this number will go down as some of them start showing up, like for example these two here. Though I might think about buying this Canadian one before this guy comes in to get an extra. But more importantly, one of the things I want to do is I want to get all 6 headquarters out, or on the spiral, I'm used to World in Flames, on the production queue before there's a free one that will show up over here when Iraq rebels. So if I bought those other 6, then I can get an extra one. And I do love my headquarters. So that's a plan. And conversely, Germany can do the same thing. Germany should build all their headquarters before the one that they get in the fall or early winter of 40. I forget when exactly that date is. They want to get all of theirs built on the production queue before that guy shows up. Or actually, more specifically, because that one may count, more specifically, you want to get them all on the queue before the the Africa Corps pops up, and then Germany can get an extra headquarters, and that's even more important than the extra British one. So I am going to be building the destroyers. I will be building these 2 escort carriers. I may build 1 extra carrier for the UK. I'm certainly not really planning on building all 3. One of the things I like to do is there comes a point shortly after France falls where the British MPP tanks. This is partly due to there's a reduction when you redo the convoy lines, and then there's let me show you down here. Some of these, I think Malaya and maybe New Zealand, some of those convoys go away because to deal with the Pacific, and then there's another 100 MPP tax on the UK's money. So right around the time when Egypt starts heating up, Egypt-Libya battle starts heating up, the North Africa campaign heats up real badly, is right when the UK gets hit and is at her low point of MPP wise. It makes it, if you've spent all your money, or constantly spent all your money, and you haven't saved any up, you are going to have a very big time trouble repairing all this stuff and fighting down here effectively. Now you have a huge advantage because there's a 14. There's this 15 unit limit between El Alamein and Tripoli, which limits the access. So everything east of El Alamein, all this back here in Egypt, you can load it up with planes and cores and everything else, and it becomes very, very difficult for the Axis to push through. But if you've spent your money, and you haven't saved up a nice hefty war chest, you will lose it, because you will not be able to repair stuff fast enough and effectively do anything else. Whereas even though you have this big advantage in units and cores and stuff, you'll start getting damaged stuff, and you won't be able to repair it or ship new things in, and it gets real bad real fast. Another thing I want to do at some point is get a second unit up here and get both these guys guarded. It's going to be bad enough when you have the Italian Air Force with the medium bombers coming down, and they will push you back. They will kill your entrenchment out here, and then the one tactic I use and been used against me is to send one of the Axis artillery or one of the German artillery down here to support the Italian one, and that can chew up units once the entrenchment's gone, particularly once you get artillery 1 tech. Speaking of tech, nothing for the UK. How about the US? I think the US is either going to buy tanks or ground attack weapons first. There's an argument to start amphibious warfare right away as well, and anti-aircraft. I'd like to do the anti-aircraft for England, and I already spent money, so I can't. But I want that armor unit for France, and then we'll get into this. It's probably, even if I bought it right away, even if I bought it instead of industrial tech last turn, it probably would not fire before Malta goes under assault. So it's not too huge of a deal. Let me make sure I did. Yeah, I did sell the advanced subs for the U.S. I'm sure I want to hold on. I mean, like I said, there's an argument. I could decide later if I want to sell the spying intelligence for Russia. I kind of like it, not for getting ahead of the UK and the US, but it's only 75 points if you sell it, and I'd rather, for 75 points, a few extra free intel hits of enemy units is, to me, worth it. Let's see, France, I did theirs. I'm going to keep all these. I might sell anti-tank weapons if at some point in the future, if it looks like it's never going to come in. This is the one that's most likely not going to get in, because they get a bonus on infantry weapons and ground attack and anti-aircraft and logistics and armored warfare, because the England or Germany has them, so they get a little bonus increase to that. The anti-tank is the one that doesn't, and obviously we're keeping all this. Anti-aircraft's important. Getting infantry weapons too is probably even more important than getting anti-aircraft going. Same with anti-tanks. Same with fighters, and then we can work on the other. Command and control is important. I want amphib. I want everything except the subs. All right. Anyway, I believe that's going to be it. I don't need to move anything else. I'll repair that later. All right, let's hit end of turn and see what happens. Yeah, I don't have anything I want to hit with those tac bombers. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have to keep an eye on Norway. I looked earlier, Norway's at 3%. I'm going to have to keep, when they hit around 10 to 15, I'm going to stop. Turkey signs mutual, yeah. All standard stuff. Okay. Well, heavy bombers. That's nice. It's going to be a while. It's not that great because reinvesting in it soon is not a priority. Okay. Nothing special happened. All right. Well, now my advice for those that die is declare the pennies on your eyes. Taxman out. See you next episode.